facing your fears creates that confidence. So when you overcoming them, you start to realize that like, oh, I'm capable of doing things, and that fear diminishes.
Yeah.
While self-confidence was the opposite of diminishes.
Because of the opposite of diminishing.
Yeah.
Diminishing is like shrinking, so increasing.
Yeah. So yeah, while self-confidence is increasing. So
Yeah.
So it's like a pendulum.
Because I believe to kind of fast track developing more self-confidence is to kind of look at adversity head on and give yourself the confidence that you will get through it, and it's shifting the mindset where it's like, I won't let this consume me, but I will just tackle it head on, and I will survive, and this will create more confidence. For like, if you get through an issue or a problem, that has to increase your ability within yourself that you believe that you can achieve other things. Like, you look back at the things that you thought that you couldn't get through, and you got through them, and that you'll look at it and be like, well, if I got through that, I can get through this.
Yeah.
Creates more confidence, right?
Yeah, I guess it's all about building evidence as well.
Absolutely. It's having a portfolio of challenges where you're like, well, look what I've got through.
Yeah, exactly. When I was doing a therapy, and it's really interesting because when I was in my previous job, I felt like I'm always going to get sacked. I just had this thought like, I'm gonna get sacked. I'm gonna get sacked. And I kept on saying that to myself. And then I was talking to my therapist, and he's like, "Why are you saying that all the time?" And I said, "I feel like I'm not good enough, and that's why I'm gonna get sacked." And he said, "Well, where's the evidence that you're not good enough?" And then the evidence was like, every time we have a feedback session with my managers, they say like, "Oh, you're like really good. Like, we're really happy to have you." But then still after a couple of weeks, I go back to the same. And it took me a 3 or 4 good sessions to realize that no, like, I need evidence to feel both ways, good and bad. Like, if I'm feeling that I'm gonna get sacked, I need evidence to see that I'm not doing well.
Yeah.
Alternatively, if I'm doing well, I need the evidence, and then I can project that on my future success as well, because I have the evidence already here. Like, I did that before and I can do it again. So yeah, it's all about stacking as much evidence as possible. And alternatively, when you're feeling bad, having that evidence or like thinking about where is the evidence that I'm not good enough.
Absolutely. Because if ever I have self-doubt in my mind, or if I'm feeling like I'm not worthy or good enough, or I'm not feeling very confident, I do try and look back at what I have achieved.
Yeah. What are you the most proud of your achievements?
Good question. I would say recently this podcast, I'm so proud of it. Because
that's
it was something that I wanted to do that I never thought I could do, and can now look at that being like, and that is giving me more confidence. Also, sitting here at episode 9 in comparison to episode 1, I'm far more confident, feel a lot more comfortable. And I do think it is about going, well, I'm just putting myself out there and just trying things. And that gives you confidence.
Yeah.
And if anyone shits on it or hates it, well, it's like, well, I'm just doing it. There's no rules to this. And I if anyone asks me now, like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I've got this really cool project that I'm really passionate about. And people see that and they're like, man, this guy's confident, he's got it. I'd say biggest achievement is obviously like starting my business.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Doing that full time and earning a salary off that is a massive, huge achievement, and something that I'm extremely proud of.
So how would you say because I'm pretty sure you got times when, as an example, I'm not sure if that happened to you, but like when you started this podcast, do you feel like, did you feel any self-doubt, and how did you remind yourself that you are capable of things?
Like, I feel self-doubt all the time. Like, when the self-doubt comes in about the business or anything like that, I feel it, and I feel it come in, and then I try and tell myself, well, if I've got through that, I can get through this. And
Mm-hmm.
even if I look at worst case scenarios of like planning, emergency planning, I try and kick that worry down the road until it actually becomes a serious problem. But like with the podcast example, self-doubt was when we were struggling to find someone to help edit our videos, and then it was finding the right space, all of that, where you're thinking like, oh, maybe. But to be honest, I haven't really had that much self-doubt with this, because I know that you and I think very similarly in the sense that when it's a problem, it's a good opportunity to be able to just go through it. And when it comes to this podcast, it's really understanding the why in which I want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I enjoy doing this because I enjoy sitting down here talking about topics.
That's the fun part.
Yeah, that's the fun part. And as long as I keep doing any challenges that surround this podcast that allow me to sit down and do this, then it's not a challenge. It's just an opportunity for me to be able to like continually be in this position where I like to be, which is sat in this chair. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to self-doubt, I know that I can do it. It's just continuing to plow through it.